Well, hello everybody. This is Dr. Nadine and welcome to How Do You Take Charge of You? This is a webinar. We're going to be together for about an hour and 10 maybe. I'm so excited for our connection and I would just like to do a sound check and a slide check. So would you look at your control panel and go to the very bottom of the control panel, you'll see the chat window. Would you just type yes into the chat if you can hear me? If you can see the slides, I have a little blue dot, happening on the slide right now, just to make sure that you can see me. So that's just a wonderful sound check. The other thing that would be really lovely is if you just, type in your name, where you're from. It's always lovely for me to see where everyone is coming on board with us today. I really would like this time to be very valuable and amazing and meaningful, that you can have that experience for yourself today. So I'm going to invite you to set this time aside just for you. And we do that by setting boundaries. We do that by removing distractions. So one of the things that I really believe, that when we set boundaries for ourselves, it's honoring to us, it's healing to us. So here's just a few things that you can do on your side to allow this to be a wonderful experience for yourself. If you happen to be watching the webinar, participating in the webinar on a computer, then make sure you turn off your cell phone or turn the volume off. Turn off your mail, your social media. Again, if you're on a computer, the thing that I've discovered is very, very helpful is to make sure that this is the only tab that you have open, so that the slides buffer really easy for you. And if you happen to be around other people, it's really honoring to put up a do not disturb sign so that you can truly give this hour to yourself. Give this investment of change for you. I really would love for you to have value, right? And so thank you for taking a step forward for you. I value your time. I want this to be a great investment of your hour. So today we're going to be talking about strategies you can take, tools that you can implement that allow you to take charge of your energy field. What is that? What does that mean? And why it's important, and what are the benefits in your life when you manage your energy. So one of the things I can tell you is that I've discovered when I watch the replay is that sometimes the slides are way ahead of where I am in the replay. So you'll see this little blue dot moving around often, and that's just me doing an attempt to keep the slide, where I am rather than popping forward. Have you ever had to set a boundary? And what does that look like? How do you set a boundary and say, yes, that works for me? But what if you have to say, no, thank you, right? No, thank you. And to be able to say no, thank you without a push and a shove, without having an argument, right? Without feeling discombobulated, without resistance, without losing you during the exchange. So basically, how do you take charge of yourself in situations where others may have a differing opinion or a possible agenda? You see, when you manage you, it affects everyone around you. When you manage you, it affects the room, it affects the conversation, it affects the situations, the opportunities that arise in front of you. It all begins when you manage you. So today we're going to talk about opportunities that I'm going to present to you so that you can choose to walk a path with a proven uh, agenda, a proven let me say that a different way. Today, I want you to be able to walk away with a proven path that allows you to experience a grounded and balanced way of life, a grounded and balanced way of presenting yourself, again, which changes every aspect of your life. So let's shift a little bit here. Let's make this personal for you, right? Make this time personal for you. So if you look at the screen, you're going to see, a handshake here. And I'd like you to visualize this handshake as to be in agreement with yourself. So just look at that handshake, and would you take a breath? And would you say hello to everyone else on the call? Everyone's here for themselves. And would you say hello to me as your presenter? But now, let's shift this. Let's be very self-ish. And would you say, you know what? I am here for me. I claim this time for myself. And would you set your crown chakra? Chakra is an energy center, and the crown, top of the head. Would you set the crown chakra to moss green? Now, if you're saying, Nadine, how do I do that? Just reach out into that picture, look for a green that goes, that's what moss green is to me. Grab a handful of it and put your hand right on top of your head. Your body knows what to do. Your cells know what to do. Now, breathe your eyes open and let's get your body involved. Again, at the very bottom of your, control panel, there's a little chat window. So would you type yes, anchor this, put this into motion. Yes, I am willing to participate fully. Yes, I'm willing to participate for myself. I'm here for me. Because quite honestly, between you and I, Nadine, do not count in this part of the agreement. You count, you matter. This webinar is all about you. I promise that today, by the end of our time, you are going to learn the benefits of what happens when you take a breath. The benefits of what happens when you own the center of your head. What does that mean? The center of your head. What does it mean to have an activated grounding cord? Knowing where your energy field begins and ends and how important that is. What's the benefits of being inside of your energy field, right? What's the benefit of and the power, right? The power of clearing out that inside of your energy field. And then we're going to really look at golden suns and what that means, how I can shift in that golden sun. So I sent you a action guide, and hopefully everyone's received your action guide. If you did not receive your action guide, would you look again at the bottom of the control panel? It's right above the chat. There's a little drop down that says handouts, and you will see the handout that's called Take Charge, because our webinar is called How Do I Take Charge? So the action guide is Take Charge _ action guide. It is in PDF format, and you can, I think you can only click it and follow along, but if you already have it, hopefully you downloaded that and printed that off. So with this action guide, I really want you to have a different perspective, right? A different perspective. We want to be able to shift off of all these things. And why? Is because I know each of us, you, me, we want to feel balanced. You want to be able to sleep at night. You want to be able to have very meaningful and enriched conversations. You want to be able to walk away from a conversation feeling uplifted and full and enjoyable, and like, wow, that was so awesome. And I can't believe we just sat here for 7 hours laughing our butts off. I want you to be able to walk away from a conversation with a smile on your face. And I know you really would enjoy not having to control every single moment of every single day, of every single relationship, every single moment, all the time. So would you, again, down in the bottom, would you type into the chat, what is one thing you would enjoy experiencing in your life? Just one, maybe many, which is totally awesome. But would you just type one thing that you would enjoy experiencing in your life? Because you know what? You deserve to have that happen. And we really want that experience to happen so that you can be in your life, enjoying your life. I've talked to thousands of people over my career, and there are some specific pain points, roadblocks, if you will, that every single one of us have bumped up against, and we don't know how to manage ourselves, right? We don't know how to move beyond. So would you like to explore those with me? So on your screen, you're going to see the very first roadblock that everyone talks about. I've changed the name. I've called it. My roadblock is I have no bearings. So, but what does that translate to? I feel edgy and flighty and discombobulated. That's a Nadine word. Discombobulated, scattered. I'm all over the place. I'm off kilter. I'm overwhelmed. And when I'm overwhelmed, all kinds of other things happen. But when I'm in that roadblock, that overwhelmed and flighty, man, the noise in my brain just doesn't shut up. So we have a very noisy mind, right? And all we want to do is like, where is the off switch? Because I can't sleep, I can't rest. And whatever that conversation is that I had 10 months ago, a year ago, 5 minutes ago, is replaying over and over and over and over and over in my noisy mind. And so now I'm in a, God, I could have said that, I would have said that, I should have said that. And when we are in that loophole, here's our third roadblock. We are completely exhausted. And when I mean exhausted, I mean to the bone exhausted. And to the bone exhausted mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. And if we are that exhausted, we have absolutely zero in our tank to offer somebody else. So if I'm exhausted and I have a noisy mind and I have no bearings, oh my God, now I completely am living my life in what I call a knee-jerk reaction. A roadblock, right? It gets in my way. I'm in a knee-jerk reaction because I'm having an immediate reaction, an immediate response. I already have a solution before I even really heard what the question was. So if I'm already working on the solution, I've missed most of the conversation. I truly did not hear the other person. And if I didn't hear the other person, right, what am I doing? I'm just like this little guy with his hammer on the knee. I'm poof, there goes my knee. So once I'm in that, then we hit that fifth roadblock, which means, okay, I am literally in a loop where habits rule. So what am I doing? I'm rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. More exhaustion. I go from one relationship to the next. I go from one job to the next. I go from one meal to the next. There's zero forward progress. And now those feelings that I really said I don't want, I have locked in those feelings of sad and lonely and depressed. And God, when am I ever gonna, ever gonna, ever gonna? All right. So stick with me. We're going to address every single one of those roadblocks. So take a breath, everybody. I promise, I promise, I promise. There is a pathway forward. There is a pathway to become masterful. There is a pathway that says this is how we take charge of our own energy field. So I wanted to just give you something in addition to everything we're going to talk about today. So for those of you who stick with me to the very, very end, you're going to receive two things. The very first thing you're going to receive is one of the most important energy tools that I think everyone should have in their toolbox. And it's a tool that can be used daily so that you can step forward in your own energy after every single exchange that you have, regardless of whether that exchange is via email, phone call, you watched a movie, somebody pulled in front of you while you're driving, doesn't matter. Conversation with an animal. This tool that I'm going to teach you, you can use after every exchange. The second thing you're going to receive at the very end of the webinar is a breathing meditation that you are able to download. That is, I think it's 7 minutes. That's just, wow, it's a very quick way for you to use your breath. And you're going to find out why we want to use our breath on this call. But that it allows you to come to center, your center of who you are with that breath in that meditation that I'm going to send to you. Little 7 minute little deal. So you may be sitting here going, hey, I hear your name's Nadine, but who are you and why are you the one presenting this information? So let me just say hello, everybody. I am Nadine. And I began my personal journey or awakening, if you will, in 1994 as I was leaving a career as a high school mathematics teacher. And as a teacher, I worked with groups of one to thousands, and in an environment where all kinds of stress, tension, conflict would arise. But at that time of my life and my career, I did not have energy tools. I was just out there trying to figure stuff out and basically falling flat on my face. I had no clue what words like balance, elegance, feminine, didn't know that word, capable, right? Being capable, being commanding, I had no idea what those things felt like. I truly lived in my head. Mathematics teacher, right? I reacted to situations rather than proceeding forward with choice. So you can just imagine what kinds of drama that are around high school students, with the parents, with the administrators, with counselors. And while college taught me how to teach, it taught me technique. No one at that time was talking about what happens when a speaker, a teacher, a parent, a leader is untethered, is unmanaged, or is not using what I call energy tools. So, breathe with me. I was diagnosed with cervical cancer in 2003. And that led me to reaching out, asking questions, seeking answers. I needed a breakthrough. I needed to learn how I shifted things. How did I get here? How do I get out of here? And during my own search, I learned a specific set of strategies and tools that allowed me to own who I am, allowed me to own my energy, allowed me to heal myself of the cancer that I had been experiencing. It allowed me to own how I was presenting myself, how I was affecting other people, how I was affecting the room I was in. So I learned how to take a specific set of tools and strategies, heal my body from dis-ease, like out of balance, diagnosis of cervical cancer, and allowed me to be very successful in my life, in my sport, of my chosen sport, in my career. So at that time, it was a pathway, right? I completely shifted my life and I became a naturopath, a natural doctor. More importantly than that, because that was, 5 years of schooling. But more importantly than that, I fully came out of the closet, if you will, and owned my gifts as a clairvoyant, owned my gifts as a healer, which got to tell you, man, being able to see, hear, taste, smell, that was so not appreciated in the school system. So when I fully stepped into my power, I 100% claimed myself of who I am, my truth, as a master healer for both animals and humans. So yes, I went on. I'm a licensed minister that gives me the right to do hands-on healings for both animals and humans. But the biggest thing is I'm a catalyst for change. I'm a catalyst for growth. And what I teach you today, or give you an opportunity to explore if you choose to, is so that you, others, can be masterful in your own life. Now, what does that mean? Being masterful in my life. Remember, I talked about, how we present ourselves, how we set our energy for the day. Do you set your energy for the day? Do you choose how you want your day to go? Or do you just go, yeah, I'm going to open up my door and just whatever kind of lands, lands? When we're masterful, we choose. This is how I want my day to unroll. This is the experience I want to have today. We learn to create meaningful conversations, meaningful relationships. We learn how to manage what is ours to own. And this is key right here. We learn to manage what is ours to own and nothing more. Nothing more. So, again, I'm going to go into that in more detail here in a minute. But becoming masterful is powerful. I want you to write that down someplace. Becoming masterful is powerful. It's empowering. So a lot of times, when we're moving forward, someone will say, "Hey, why are you doing this?" Well, you are my why. You truly are my why. I really believe that all of us have the right, we deserve to be happy. We deserve to be with happy people. We deserve to have conversations that flow and are so filled with laughter and joy. Laughter and joy. Having a conversation where you truly are present in the conversation, you're able to look in the other's eyes and see them and allow them to show their magnificence of who they are. And you and I and we often look for positive opportunities. That's our why. And we want to take ownership of our health and well-being. Because I got to tell you, I just had a friend that was in a really bad accident, and there was no line in the emergency room that said, "Hey, let me help you with that $50,000 bill." Oh, that was only one. Oh, and here's the surgeon's bill. Oh, let me help you with that. Let me take that burden off for you. Let me show you preventative health and wellness. There was not a queue lined up for health and well-being. But when you learn to clear out your own energy field, you move that, right? So you're not even in alignment with having that nasty accident. So get out your action guide. Let's kick in. Let's start. Let's make this happen. So the big question is, if that first roadblock is having no bearing whatsoever, right? Well, how do I shift from having no bearings? How do I shift from feeling flighty, scattered, overwhelmed, depressed, suicidal? That's another one that comes up, right? Depressed is all get out. Well, the solution is to learn how to ground our body. And when we ground our body, we learn how to send roots, just like this tree. We learn how to send roots down into the center of the Earth Mother so that we can siphon off the energy that does not belong to us. The main purpose of grounding, or what I call a grounding cord, is to siphon off the thoughts and the emotions that do not belong to you. So imagine that your body is this tree with these roots going down, one-way trip down, right? There is absolutely no way that anything can come back up. It goes one way down. So we're siphoning off what does not belong. Now, what are the benefits of doing that? When I'm grounded, being grounded allows me to move with the flexibility like this willow tree. The breeze comes along, I'm able to bend in ease. I'm able to be stable. Even though I'm bending, I'm still stable, I'm steady. But here's this key here. I'm able to be present because what's not mine is going down that grounding cord, right? Going down that grounding cord. So that leads us to this next step. Here we go. How do I shift off of that second roadblock of how do I shift from having that noisy mind so that we can shut off the noise, that constant conversation playing over and over and over, that coulda, shoulda, woulda. Well, how we quiet that noise so we have a restful night's sleep is we learn how to be in the center of our head. Now, the center of your head is a room that you create, you design it. And then after you've created that room, you learn how to kick everyone else out of that space and own it for yourself. So, maybe the center of your head is like this screenshot, a beautiful view of a clear, calm, water, looking at a water in a mountain. But maybe your center of your head is a living room with a nice, softy, cushy sofa with a flower on the side. Doesn't matter, it's yours, and you are the only one who deserves to be in the center of your head. Mahatma Gandhi said, "I will not allow anyone to walk in my mind with dirty feet." There's power in that, everybody. And that's where, when I'm in that center of my head, so I'm just going to put this little dot, when I'm in the center of my head and I clear everybody else out and I learn how to clear everybody else's energy out of my space, this becomes the master. I will not allow anyone to walk in my mind with dirty feet. So the benefits of that, when I'm in the center of my head, now I can own and embrace serenity. I can embrace quietness. I can embrace the calm. Being in the center of your head is soothing, and it truly becomes a place where creativity begins. So artists, musicians, team leaders, doesn't matter what your life is, your creativity. Maybe you're a quilter, maybe you're an iron worker. Your creativity begins when you're in the center of your head. Which leads us to now, if I'm in my center of my head, we shift to that third block of taking charge of our own energy form so that we're not exhausted. We're not in that place of I have to control it all. And we do that with what I call the rose tool. Now, I use a rose because a rose has the highest vibration on planet Earth. A rose, a high vibration, will absorb a lower, slower vibration. So we're going to use a rose to delineate the edge of our aura, the edge of our bubble, the edge of our energy field. And our sole job is to stay on our side of the rose. So if I'm on my side of the rose, then I own what's on my side of the rose. And anything that's on the other side of the rose is simply mine to observe if I want to observe. So this rose boundary line, mine from my heart to the rose, and not mine, anything that's on the other side of the rose. So look at it this way. Maybe you're sitting in your home right now. Maybe you're sitting in your office. But do you really care what's going on 5 streets away in somebody's laundry room? No, it's not part of your existence. Even what's going on next door is not your existence. It's not inside of your rose. Does that make sense? So we want to be able to use that rose as a boundary line. Here's again, benefits, and you're going to hear this breath coming up often. When I'm behind my rose, when I use that rose as a boundary line, oh my God, I can suddenly breathe. Have you ever had that experience where you just, God, I can't take a breath? Put that rose up. Learn how to put that rose up. Learn how to be behind that rose so that you can breathe, so that you can learn to say mine, not mine. And when I learn to say mine, not mine, now, wow, huge opportunity to observe. And when I observe, then I can choose. I'm not reacting, I'm choosing. Yes, I would really enjoy, going for a walk down that pathway. Or no, I'm still choosing. No, I don't want to go left, I want to go right. No, I don't want to go to that really loud party. I would like to really sit here and read my book for another 45 minutes. So when I use that rose as a boundary, I'm restoring balance. And we can restore balance within our hormones. We can restore balance within our um, uh, our blood, our bones, our muscles. We are literally restoring balance because we're on the inside of this rose. I just want to take a moment. I'm going to be silent. I just want everybody to read this screen. And take a breath. I read that and it has more power of me being silent and let you read that. So we just talked about the concept of when I'm behind my rose, it allows me to take a breath. So let's talk about that. What happens when I take a breath? So let's try it, everyone. Would you right now just take a breath? Breathe in and breathe out. Let's do it again. Breathe in and breathe out. When you take a breath, it brings you into present time, present moment, right here, right now. I'm not in my past. So here you see that picture. I'm not leaning back. I'm not in the story. I'm not in worry. I'm not replaying. I'm not stuck. I'm present moment. I'm also not way out in the future, because being way out of future, being way ahead of myself, again, worry. I'm living in what if, could if. It's a waste of energy. It's a waste of time. So when I take a breath, I'm in present moment. Let's do it again. And this is literally the very first tool that I teach everyone who works with me. Let's just take a breath. So let's do it again. And let your air out. And another time, breathe in and breathe out. Most excellent. So that leads us on to this next roadblock, which was that, holy crap, someone's hitting my funny bone, hitting my knee bone, I'm jerking out. Well, the solution to that is to have an energy bubble. So again, look at your screen. You're going to see, a suit in there, but the person, the being, is inside of a bubble. It's inside of an aura. It's inside of an energy field. So when you learn how to be inside of that energy field, you are able, again, to choose what you are observing. You choose what you want to clean out. You choose how to be mindful and diligent, and you take ownership of your well-being. Now, here's the key. We are only responsible for what is inside of this bubble. Inside of this bubble. So this next slide, I just absolutely love this slide. Here we have a sunflower with a bubble, right? Here's that aura we were talking about. And this is a perfect example of looking at, all right, to the side, there's another sunflower. But if I'm inside my sunflower, inside my bubble, again, I can look at what's going on over here. So the benefits of being inside of my bubble, holy cow, it's a smaller area to own and manage, right? It's totally doable. Instead of walking out into a field or something the size of Texas, it's like, oh my God, I just can't do that. But if I'm inside my aura, inside my bubble, I can do that. This is, again, a wonderful place to look at is I'm looking through my bubble. It's see-through, and I can see this other obstacle out here, but I can choose. Do I want to bring this into my bubble and deal with it? Or do I want to say, not mine, not mine? So when I'm inside of my bubble and I learn how to be inside of my bubble and I learn how to clear out the inside of my bubble, I begin to trust. And when I begin to trust, then my confidence just flows and expands. And we become what I call senior in my body. Now, senior doesn't mean older. Senior means I'm the authority. I'm the lead voice. I'm confident in my body. I'm the authority in my body. So that brings us to our last roadblock. And that last roadblock is what happens when habits rule. We get out of that rinse and repeat cycle. So the solution to getting out of habits rule is to do what I call filling in with golden suns, golden energy. It can be other colors. You may choose to do more, but it's what I call filling in with golden suns. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. So Henry Ford said, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get, say it with me, what we've always got, right? We've all been there. Repeat, repeat, repeat. So when I fill in with golden suns, I'm at choice. I choose, wow, I really would like to call myself home. I want to be at choice. I want to take ownership of myself. I want to be in well-being and being well. I want to be in empowerment. So when I learn how to fill in with gold suns, maybe I want to have some gold in my head. I want to have some teal through my shoulders. I want to clear out pain in my knee. When I fill in, when I choose the energy I want to have in my body, in my aura, I am empowered. I'm going to say this again. I take ownership of myself. I'm really looking at my well-being and my being well. So if, there's just not one skill set you want to learn here. They all kind of flow together. They're all the basic, what I call the essential tools that allow you to step into this empowerment. Susan Weiss-Berry said, with every single act of self-care, your authentic self gets stronger and stronger. And that critical, fearful, weaker mind gets weaker. So again, my translation, be in the center of your head. When you're in the center of your head, then every act of self-care, when you're behind your rose, when you're in your energy field, every act of self-care is a powerful declaration that says, I am on my side. I am on my side. So, the big question that we started this webinar with is, how do you take charge of you? And we just walk through a whole bunch of different ways of how we do that. But now let's talk to somebody, that I asked. I went to Krista one day and I said, Krista, what what were you like before you learned these tools? And she runs a school teaching riders how to ride. And she says, you gotta, no one would listen. I was frustrated. I was angry. The animals were unhappy. But, I really looked at here, here is the things that are most valuable to me. What I learned when I learned these tools is I now have the ability to stop and just say, I gotta walk away and reset myself. Just got to walk away and reset myself. So translation, what does that mean? I got to set up a rose and say, you stay on your side of the rose. I'm going to take 5 steps back. I'm going to make sure I'm inside of my energy field. I'm going to take a breath. I'm going to fill in with gold suns to reset myself so that I can be present. And, it takes a few minutes and then I'm back. And the biggest thing that she says the animals and the humans are more relaxed overall. So I ask, did that, what you're doing for you, do you teach that also now to your students? And she says, with her competitors, that helps them to work with their mount, with them instead of arguing and causing more stress. And I've been to a couple shows and I can definitely tell you, when I sit there and walk in, it's like, oh, Nadine must be in the building, because all the horses turn and watch me, because I'm holding all that energy for them to just drop it all and just say, you know what, here's my guide, if you will. Here's my guide. So a big question, how would life change? How would you be able to balance all of the balls in your life, if you will? How would life change by learning these tools that I just laid out for you? How would things be different for you? So here's just some, not all, here's just some of the benefits that can happen when you own and take charge of your energy field. So when you're inside of your energy field, it allows you to choose your experience. It allows you to be in action effectively in the areas of your life that matter most to you. And when you are effective and in those areas, it gives you freedom and ease. It allows you to embrace the freedom to be absolutely at ease no matter where you are, who you're with, or what the circumstance is. Freedom and ease. And when you're in freedom and ease, it allows balance and well-being. And you'll hear me interchange those. Well-being, being well. Well-being, being well. Your mind quiets. You restore that inner balance, and that allows your body to operate in harmony. Harmony. Again, feelings of being well, well-being. And when I'm there, when I'm in balance, when I'm in well-being, now, holy crap, here's the choice. Here's the possibility. Because you become the conductor. You choose, because you're observing and going, oh, look at all these possibilities. That's the one I want to explore. Oh, look at all these possibilities. Yeah, I don't want that one anymore, right? So you become the conductor. You become the choice and possibility conductor, and you're looking at opportunities for success in romance, in your career, in your gym, in your play, in your saying yes to something new. Saying yes to something new. Because when you feel your best, you perform at your best. Find your purpose and meaning in life and work in all that you do. So I'm going to take a little bit of time here just to talk about some opportunities. If you want to take charge, there's 2 choices. And choice number 1 is like, hey, thanks, Nadine, status quo. I want to rinse and repeat. I want to waste more time. Bravo, go for it if that's your choice. But there's another choice. And another choice is, well, I would really like to learn effective tools, because I know that these tools have an immediate application. I know that they will give me immediate results. And I know that when I work with Nadine, she's going to be this huge support and encouragement in my life. And I really wanted to have the doors open. I really want to say yes to my opportunities. So all of the tools that I just laid out for you is what I call the essential energy tools. And I put together a workshop, and it has a private members area. There are 3 main powerful sessions. There are practice bonus sessions, because I really believe that the more you anchor, the more you clear, the more you anchor, the more you're able to show up in your own life. And I just started doing group Q&A sessions so that everyone who's participating in the Essential Energy Tools can come and ask questions on a live call. So all in all, between all of that, you have access to over 8 hours of material. So let me just tell you what's in each of those sessions, because I talked about the roadblocks, right? So here's exactly what you're going to get should you choose to participate in the workshop. In session 1, remember that breath? You go into more detail about the importance of taking the breath. We literally find and own the center of your head. We talk about the 4 levels of consciousness and work through those. We create and activate your grounding cord and learn how to expand it for the situation that you're in. We discover the edge of your energy field, and we literally build that energy field, that boundary, what I call a 6-pointed energy field. And then while we're still in session 1, we begin to clear and clean out the inside of your energy field. And we spend some time clearing out your energy field for whatever you can do in session 1. And then I teach you how to fill in with those golden suns, how to choose that energy that comes into your body. So my suggestion is that you take this first session and then integrate it, right? Take an integration time, and when you're ready, you come back for session 2, because this is definitely a working session. It could be the same afternoon, it could be the next day, it could be a week later, but in this specific session, we go through relationship stuff. So we definitely clear out conflict in relationship, misunderstanding in relationship. So there's a lot there. And then again, we're using roses here, and a rose becomes your working tool. And there's something that I give you a free choice. So, after we do conflict and misunderstanding, we're going to create a rose, and you choose, wow, I want to clear this out of my field. Maybe it was a conversation you had. Maybe it's betrayal, whatever. You choose what that is. Then we go a little deeper into that session, and we use 3 different roses. And we clear out love. Love is big. And so, you may want to come back and do this session a couple times because love is big. And in those 3 roses, just a taste here, you will clear out the energy of where somebody else said to you, I don't love you. That's powerful, right? I don't love you. I can't love you. And then what we did with that, when somebody outside said, I don't love you, we're going to do a second rose, and we're going to clear out where we owned that. And we said, oh crap, I'm unworthy of being loved. I don't even love myself. And then there'll be that third rose that says, well, wait, if somebody else did it to me and I did it to myself, well, you can pretty much bet I did it to somebody else. So we're going to do that third rose where we told somebody else, I don't love you. I don't love you. And the huge, 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 huge clearing. And then there's more, right? There's more. We go on and we clear out doubt in accomplishment. We clear out any kind of doubt in your career. Like if somebody says, wow, I was really going for that brass ring, and God, I don't know if I can, should I, all that. And then we fill in specifically with self-worth, self-love, balance, and being happy. Powerful. And then when you're ready, we'll take on session 3. So session 3, we go into another aspect of using the rose, and there's more. There's another tool called Saint Germain's Violet Flame. I teach you more ways to use the grounding cord, variety of ways to use the roses, and then another way to disconnect energetically. So huge, huge, huge tools that happen. But I also know that sometimes we need a little bit more practice. So I went through my archives and I found other, sessions that I had done that I had pre-recorded. And I brought them back and I cleaned them up a little bit. But in the bonus sessions, we're going to talk about lack, which is survival, being unworthy, invalidation, animosity, shame, blame. And we're going to work on balancing the masculine and feminine aspects of you. And there's a 20 or 30-minute practice meditation that's available in your private classroom. And like I said, there's an opportunity in your classroom to sign up for Q&A sessions that happen, I think, every other week. And if there's if you write to me and say, hey, would you please address this particular question, then we'll address that. But if there are no questions on the call, it's a pretty short call. But hopefully, there's value in that for everyone. So that's everything that you're going to experience in the Essential Energy Tools workshop. And it's really good for all ages. It really truly doesn't matter how old you are. Here's Taylor, a high school student, and she says, these tools have completely transformed my life for the better. And the part I loved about this is that I'm able to work in a calm manner in stressful situations. Carol, I loved this testimonial that came in from Carol, is a new confidence and certainty. Isn't that cool? A new confidence and certainty. Here's a Carla with her dog, that the tools have allowed her to work better with her dog and to be able to stay grounded and confident during stress and illness and uncertainty. Leanne wrote in, about changes that happened with her, of being able to use these tools to stay completely detached, neutral, if you will, when dealing with situations that require a non-emotional process to information being given. So a lot of hospital visits for her, and in that neutral, there comes an allowing without judgment, without expectation to what the outcome is. And then I pulled in a business owner, and she's a medium, a clairvoyant medium, and she says, these energy tools have saved me in times of trauma, stress, working with other clients. But here was the key: I don't drive without using these tools. I don't work without these tools. Nothing in my life happens without these tools. They are must-haves. So maybe you're sitting here saying, gosh, I still don't know, Nadine. I don't know if this is, the direction I should be going. Well, let's see if you can say yes to any of these statements. And guaranteed, if you can say yes to one of these statements, you would highly benefit from the Energy Tools Workshop. So I am uncomfortable in a room that has tension, conflict, arguing, meaning I'm looking for, where is the exit? That was me for most of my life. Where is the exit? What about this one? I have tossed and turned all night with a conversation endlessly running through my head. Yeah, have you heard that song? 3 o'clock in the morning and it seems like it's going to be another sleepless night. You know that song? Coulda said this. Oh my God, if I just would have said that. That coulda, shoulda, woulda, right? It gets in the way. It gets in the way. We can clear all that out. What about this one? I have lost myself in a conversation or decision. Like I walked in with one idea. I walked in saying, I really want this to happen. I really want to do this. But then I completely handed my choice, my power, my seniority to the other person. And I walked away feeling like a deflated balloon. What the hell, right? Let's change that. What about this one? I've walked out of a store or meeting or movie or conversation because I did not feel comfortable. Here's another one. I have felt exhausted or drained mentally, emotionally, physically after a conversation or after an event, right? And if you can say, maybe you were out dancing one night, but you walked away and it's, oh my God, I'm just exhausted. And not exhausted because you danced too long, exhausted because I wasn't able to clear out all of what I left behind. Right? So if you can say yes to any of those situations, you would highly benefit from the tools workshop. So it's called Essential Energy Tools. When you go out to my website, it looks like this. So it says tools that allow balance and being well and well-being. There's a little purple flower there. And so let me recap what you're going to receive in that workshop. So in the workshop, you get those 4 to 8 essential energy tools. You have multiple working sessions that have multiple opportunities to clear out, clean it, reset it. You have those practice sessions and you have the group Q&A calls. So not even counting the Q&A calls, well over 8 hours of work content to enjoy. And for those of you who sign up today, say, I really want to participate in this, Nadine, I created quite a few, what do you call them? Meditation albums, MP3 albums. And I'd like to gift two of them to you that really tie in and support the work that you will do in the workshop itself. And the very first one's called Home Again. It has 4 tracks on it that allow you to find your center, basically come home to that place within your heart. And the other one's called Permission. And Permission just is a working MP3 file. It's 5 tracks that assist you in clearing out. So if you didn't get enough clearing out, in the workshop, this extends upon that and allows you to clear out within chakra 1, 2, and 3, and then reset those. But a big note to self, this is not about, oh, Nadine asked me, so I need to do it for Nadine. Like, absolutely no. This is all about you. You got to do this for you. This isn't about anybody else. You are the one who walks in your clothing. You're the one who walks in your shoes. You're the one who walks in your skin. You have to choose for yourself. And, I love working with people. And I want you to know that there is no risk to work with me. If you invest in you, I invest in you. If you do the work, and you can honestly say, Nadine, I did all these sessions and I had zero results in my life. I had zero shifts in my life. Then I'll give you your money back. It's not about that. It's about you having change in your life. You having change in your life. And, you definitely do have to do the workshop within the first 30 days of that you purchase it, right? So I really want you to know that there's no risk to you. And, now is the time. Now is the time to go through all of those benefits that we talked about by walking through those essential energy tools. And in a moment, I'm going to provide you with a bit.ly link that allows you to purchase the workshop with those bonuses. But before I do that, let's just walk through. Take a breath, everyone. Let's just walk through again. A reminder, here's the results that can happen in my life when I'm grounded. So when I'm grounded, my results that I can enjoy in my life is serenity, quietness, and calm. When I'm in the center of my head, the results that I get to enjoy by being in the center of my head is to literally have stability and quietness and calm. When I'm behind my rose, I absolutely can say this is mine, this is not mine. I can restore balance. I can live in choice. When I learn how to be inside of my energy field, I learn how to observe and choose. My confidence grows, my trust expands, and I am empowered. And when I learn how to fill in with gold suns, I completely take ownership of self. I take ownership of my well-being because I want to be well. I want to be well. So we talked a little bit about, a friend of mine that was just in an accident, and, prevention, self-care is where things are right now. Healthcare costs are exorbitant. So your relationship with yourself sets the tone for every other relationship that you have in your life. And I truly hope that you can give this as a gift to yourself. So here's the bit.ly link, and I will see if I can pop that also into the chat. It's difficult for me to multitask here, but let me just see if I can grab this link, copy, and popping it in the chat so you can also have it in the chat. It's bit.ly/energy tools workshop. That's how you will have that short conversation to that workshop itself. Everything that you saw that you get with that workshop. Again, this is an investment in you, right? An investment in you. So we're within 10 minutes of ending, and I'm going to start a little timer here so that I can answer some of the questions that have been asked. And let me just start a timer. And the reason I'm starting an external timer is because I've learned that when I go off this screen, no one can see the timer anymore. So let me just say that link again is bit.ly, so bit.ly/energy tools workshop. And here's what you get. Again, if I'm saying yes to the Energy Tools Workshop, this is what it looks like in the store. You're going to sign up for the Essential Energy Tools Workshop that gives you a private members area and access to the 3 powerful sessions, access to the bonus practice sessions. You'll see a place down there where you can do the group Q&A sessions, and then I will send you in an email, I'll send you the links so that you can download the MP3 files for Home Again and Permission. You also can choose to do nothing, right? Absolutely, that's your choice. So if I can absolutely do anything, I have to say is like, well, what are my choices here? So let me just come back to this because this says, would you rather? So a question just popped in uh, to somebody that says, how do I pay? Oh, so you can pay for the Essential Energy Tools Workshop with that link that I provided. If you don't want to go that route with the Energy Tools Workshop link, you can go to Venmo and you can go to Zelle. And my Venmo connection is at DRNADINE 111. They'll ask you for a validation code, and that's 2541. It's the last 4 of my email. If you're using Zelle, then you need to use my full email address, which is drnadine111@gmail.com. And I'm just going to put that in the chat. That's via Zelle. So David's asking, will the Q&A sessions be recorded? So yes, the Q&A sessions are recorded, David, and I send those recordings to those who are actually on the call, and that way it keeps your email clear so that, let's say 100 people signed up for the workshop and only, 5 people wanted the recording, which is unusual, but not 95 people aren't receiving an email they didn't want, right? Okay, so let me just talk about why now, and then there's another question. Lisa just asked a question, so let me come back to this other question. So would you rather be unsteady, experiencing overwhelm, looking for that off switch, or would you like to be empowered? Would you like to sleep at night? Would you like to choose when to engage? Would you like to be able to maneuver in balance? Would you like to create healthy boundaries? Remember saying yes or no, right? Both of them are very empowering without getting everybody else's gook on you. So I'm going to put this next screen up, but let me answer this question that came through. So Lisa's asking, what kind of support do you offer if I get stuck? So thanks for this question, Lisa. So in addition to the Q&A sessions that are being provided to you, I offer private healing sessions. They're a 90-minute session. They're a one-on-one session where we go deep. Now, remember my skill set. I have a huge toolbox. I move energy lightning quick. And so in your 90-minute private session, we go deep. We clear out a lot. And we're really clearing out this lifetime, and sometimes we go into past lifetime, but we're really clearing out so that you can move forward. And we're in July. So I have some spaces available in July, but I'll most likely be booking into August for those 90-minute sessions. So why now? Well, healthcare, we talked about this a little earlier. Healthcare and insurance costs are obscene. I just think they're obscene. So taking care of self is a must. It's just a must. So what these energy tools do is they expand your toolbox, right? So sometimes you need to use a little screwdriver. Sometimes you need to use a big hammer or a big wrench. When you have more tools in your toolbox, you just have more available to me. Now, at the very beginning, I think I actually forgot to say this, so my slide is reminding me. Somebody says, hey, what do you want your legend to be, Nadine? And it's like, I do not want to be remembered as the woman who kept her mouth shut. So here I am, Nadine, your heart, how you love yourself matters to me. I have skills that I know I can teach you. I have tools I know I can teach you that will completely change your life. And you know what? I'm just not going to keep my mouth shut. Just not going to keep my mouth shut. So, can you give yourself permission to invest in you? Completely invest in you. So, I told you a little bit about my own journey, healing from cervical cancer. And if I can heal, you can heal. These tools have allowed me to know myself. I told you when I taught high school, I lived in my head. Everything was in my head. But today, I can feel. And I can use those words like, how is that feeling right now? Today, I embrace my life from a place of feeling happy, feeling elegant. It was a really big challenge for me. I knew how to be the bull in the china shop, but how do I do elegance? How do I do beauty? Well, that's where I come from today, is from beauty and balance, a graciousness, a kindness, certainty, capableness. Today, I come from a place of commanding my own presence. Today, I come from a place of masterful, being masterful. And we talked at the beginning of being masterful. So, when you heal, you shift from giving to everyone else, you shift to doing for yourself first. And there's power in that. You shift from power and control, power and control, power and control to observing and then choosing. And sometimes the choice is to do absolutely nothing, right? Absolutely nothing. The big one, becoming masterful is powerful. And I'm going to come back to, what's the thing that you can do for yourself? I just got another beep here, so let me see if there is another question that I can answer on the call. Linda, I'll answer that one privately. That one just doesn't, yeah, that doesn't, I'll answer that one privately. I'll send you an email. Okay, so we're within about 2 minutes of our 10 minutes being over. So I had said, for those of you who stick with me to the very end, I wanted to give you some thank yous, So in the chat, I'm going to pop the link to the meditation, the breathing meditation. And let me just make sure I did that correctly. Normally I have an assistant that's helping me. Yes, so breathing meditation. It's called Take Charge Gift. And let me just put that in the chat one more time. So, and I will also send you an email that has that link to the breathing meditation. When you download that and play it, you can download it to your computer first, is where I'm going to recommend, and then upload it to any listening device you want to. You can play that as you're going out for a bike ride or whatever. 7 minutes that allow you to center and with your breath. But I also said I was going to teach you an energy tool of how to make separations. So we want to separate your energy from everybody else on the call. So what I'd like you to do is to acknowledge the person on your left. Just say hello to them. Acknowledge the person on your left. The person on your right, say thank you. The person in front, behind, just thank you everyone for showing up. Thank them for showing up for you, for showing up for themselves. Now, would you visualize standing up and just taking a step out of that group energy that we've all been sitting in? And would you visualize a line between my room and your room, like my space and your space? The group agreement, like a cord. Now, would you take your non-dominant hand and would you break that connection? Would you push the room energy back into the room? Like everybody else on the call, push that room energy into the room. But more importantly, would you pull your energy into your heart? Bring your energy back to you. Here you go. Take a breath. What does taking a breath do? Taking a breath brings you into present time, present moment. Hi, baby. So let's do that again, but this time I want you to look at the connection between your heart and my heart. Your heart chakra, my heart chakra. Now take your non-dominant hand and would you sever that connection? Would you push my energy towards me? Would you pull your energy to your heart? Again, bring your energy to you. Now, would you give the command to all of your cells to integrate you with you? Would you take a breath? Awesome job, everyone. Awesome job. So, gosh, thank you so much for spending your time today. You know, I love who I am in your presence. Thank you for allowing me to not keep my mouth shut. I truly appreciate it. And for those action takers who, gave yourself permission to work with me and take control of your health and well-being and your happiness and your success, I'm so excited to work with you, and I look forward to corresponding back and forth. If you didn't choose to commit to working with me today, I hope that you can walk away with value, that you created value, and that your action guide is loaded with value for yourself. I really trust that you'll commit to taking a breath, to being present in the moment, as we discussed today, and that you can truly say, hey, I'm on my side. I'm on my side. So once I click the end of our webinar, there's going to be a little survey, 4-question survey that popped up to see how much value this had for you. Thank you for taking the survey, providing me with feedback. Many, many blessings to everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Namaste.